Hello and welcome. My name is Janae Sansaray. I came into this realm for a bit with some gifts. I am an Akashic Records librarian, able to read energy in the quantum space of all that is. I believe I chose to be here to assist and participate in the greatest higher dimensional shift we are all going through in the history of planet Earth. It's so exciting. If you want to learn more about me, I have put my website link in the description below. All right, let's get to it and enjoy this video. Hello and welcome. Welcome to my channel. I'm Janae Sansaray. I am an Akashic Records librarian intuitive. And today, my friend Caitlin and I are going to have another juicy conversation. I'm so excited. So I love getting on with you, Caitlin, and tell us about yourself.
Hi, Jamae. I'm a midlife mermaid clinging to the edges of this reality. And I'm a shamanic astrologer and biogeometrist. So I work with the energies, and I'm here to raise the vibration in the home, in the body, in the environment, on the land, everywhere. I'm here to raise the vibes.
I love it. And you do really good at that too. So you've definitely helped me. Yeah. Um, so yeah, so yeah, and I definitely love um what you do, and because you've helped me through the biogeometry so much. And also I'm going to point it out every time you make the most amazing jewelry, the cosmic jeweler. So this is my beautiful piece that I got just a couple weeks ago. Half moon, abalone. Yeah, or can you see it? So beautiful. And you're just super powerful priestess. Anyways, I could go on and on. And I love having
Thank
our
you,
conversation.
darling.
Yes. So today we're going to talk menopause, like things that aren't talked about. There's so many so many emotions that happen through menopause. And like you were saying earlier, it's midlife. Men can go through it as well. It's this transition
Yeah,
that we go through. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to also talk about contracts. Um,
social
contracts.
contract.
Yeah, soul contracts, friendship contracts, family contracts that are in this now, but possibly contracts that we have in other lifetimes, in other realms, dimensions, all of them, and how we can break them. And so we're not continuing an old loop or pattern, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it really came to me yesterday. I was like, yeah, what is this? Like, with just friendships, my friendships have been changing as my world changes, and it's like coming into like consciousness around the friendships you have, like, and the relationships, you know all kinds of relationships, but really coming becoming conscious of the need for changes to be implemented, and like how old things don't feel right and that you're still doing them.
Mm-hmm.
So really developing an awareness, and then having a discussion
Mm-hmm.
with the individuals around what I like, what I'm like now, and what I'm doing with myself now, and how I want to relate
Mm-hmm.
to you
Yeah.
going forward.
Because we are shifting and evolving and changing, and we're not the same person we were even yesterday. So uh,
Yeah.
it is
Yet
going.
there's this real thing of like relationships that we have to like stay the same. That there's this sort of like need
Expectation.
to always, yeah, be
Yeah.
the person that I thought you were when we met.
Yeah. That's
So yeah. And I think that's part of the South Node too, the South Node being in Libra.
mm,
It's kind of challenging all our relationships and
mm,
making us kind of look at them because it's the past. And being in Libra is all about co-creation and relationships. So we're at kind of late degrees of that right now, 28 degrees.
Okay.
So it is like, at that edge of which each degree of each zodiac sign has an energy. So we're at the late degrees. Late degrees is more intensified energy than, like, say, the middle.
Okay.
So yeah,
Interesting.
because it feels like yesterday it was just like, oh my God, that's what has to happen. These changes, social contracts.
Yeah, the
So
social
it just sort of hit
love
me.
that because it is it's an
Yeah.
unseen, it's an energetic contract that we form with someone when, like, either we first meet or we've known them our whole life, and so it's like, "Oh, we have to stay in that energy form," but we can't. But then we don't wanna disappoint the other person by changing maybe, because it's been a certain way, and so it's like then that's when the uncomfortableness comes, when we're not realizing how to maybe shift that, and thinking that we have to stay that way to please our friend. And so
Yeah.
we're learning that we actually don't have to do that. We can just recognize that we're shifting and that we do change, and to honor each other doing that. Like that's the key, I think, is
Yeah.
that, if someone's not doing their inner work as well, so they have an expectation of you because that's how you were in the beginning of that, in the relationship, and then say you're evolving and growing, and then you're like, "Oh, I'm not like that person anymore." And they're like, "What?" And if they haven't done the inner work, it's harder maybe for them to kind of go with the flow of like, "Oh, well, that's amazing. I love you and am happy to see you in this new light," and like work with that. That's where
Yeah.
that communication comes. Yeah.
Well, there's sort of been like a real evolution of relationships, understanding.
Mm,
I think, even my parents' lifetime, the notion of you got married and then it was, that was it. You got married, that was it.
yeah.
It wasn't like you you made this commitment to each other that you're both going to be changing and evolving and how you were going to still love each other through all that or not. So there wasn't this understanding of like, oh, you're two sovereign beings coming together
Mhm.
and how that is going to evolve. It's
Yeah.
more like, no, you're my mate, and that's, and then
It
this is, yeah, we
Well, they
just
stayed
live
the
out
same
the,
because they were in that energy of just it was like a slower pace
yeah,
energy, and that was their contract, right? So
yeah,
'cause that's how I feel too. So we all have contracts before even coming in. So we have
right,
a soul contract with ourselves, with our higher self or whatever of what we're gonna learn and everything. And then we have these contracts with our friends, our family, um, and I love
ancestors.
and ancestors. Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, those ones alone.
Yeah. No, I know. That's and I definitely tried to not tried, but went in. I'm like, okay, we're dissolving that contract. And so what's the best way to dissolve those contracts in the now with friends? Like how do you move through?
Well, I think if you want help through another party, someone like you would be perfect to help, right? Because you're the
That's
librarian. You'll just go in and
that's right.
into the library.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of it is just about becoming aware
Yeah.
of influences, first of all.
Yeah.
So like the biogeometry work I do, it helps to center your energy by taking disturbed energy or where you have it's kind of like a feng shui of the body and the home. It's like wherever there's leaks and disturbances,
Mm,
that is disturbance is a leak. So it kind of lowers, keeps the energy field low and not centered. It kind of
mm,
keeps it off. So when you start centering
mm.
all these different aspects of your body and your environment, then you know very clearly when something is not yours
That's
when
right.
you in that
Yeah.
centered energy.
That's right.
I have a client I've been working with for a little while, and she finally had the experience, not finally, but she had the experience of an energy coming in and recognizing it
Cool.
and then getting rid of it. And, she didn't get pulled into the drama, and she just recognized, oh, no, you can't. So it's like really recognizing and then
That's right.
setting a boundary with the energy. Um, it
Cool.
takes, you know, time to observe and reflect. And,
Mm,
this gets where the gnosis, knowing yourself, becomes very important,
right.
because then you can go, oh, yeah, that's not me.
Mhm.
So, I
Yeah,
mean, it's taken me years to understand.
yeah. And that's at that
Maybe
zero
because
that's
I'm
at
really,
that kind of 0 point, that neutral state that we're
yeah,
talking about, and that's like to get there is a lot of yeah, self-awareness, self-work, um, clearing out.
clearing out,
Yeah,
recapitulating, going through. Yeah, so you can get to this place where you're like, "Oh, I really can see that,"
yeah,
and recognize it. But
yeah,
really, it's just about becoming conscious of it, consciousness,
that's right. Yeah, yeah,
and
because
that's what we're moving
no
into, right?
mhm, yeah, know what your energy is, like you were saying. Yeah, be conscious and aware of the unseen. That's what we're all learning now is like, which is really exciting, is that it's like becoming like more mainstream of we know that there's unseen energies, and then we have to actually be able to read them like we read a book, something that we've seen, but we are learning more and more how to read energy. I've been able to do it for some reason. That was probably part of my contract, like, okay, this is going to be
Right.
your gift. This is, I want to be able to read. I have other, things that that I'm like, oh, really? Did I pick that one to learn through? But luckily, 'cause I like to be able to read energy. And so I'll take that one like as a gift. Thank you.
Yeah.
There's definitely other challenges that I chose to go through. And I know we all did, but
Yeah, we all have
we all,
just
yeah, shows challenges. Anyways, I off
definitely.
subject, but anyway, yeah, so it's being able to really fine tune and read, that energy that's coming at us and stay in that neutral place. And if someone else, if a friend, if we have grown and a friend isn't at that place, and they're still having an idea of who you were, I guess the next step is to communicate, right? It's
Yeah.
really important to communicate with our
Yeah, and once you can identify what it is, the energy that you don't like,
mhm,
because it's like the friendships and relationships, they can be amazing in the beginning because there's all this stuff and then all the good stuff, and then you get to the harder stuff and you're like, oh wait, I don't like the way you handle that. And so it's really when it does start to change how, yeah, how you can speak your truth
that's it.
to, yeah, and then share and then renegotiate the contract,
That's
you
right.
know just like, oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's
yeah.
why it's so important to communicate because I know that the like one of all of our main lessons being here is to understand each other even if we don't agree anymore, like say, we're at odds on this or oh, we don't see eye to eye on that. But to raise above that and honor the soul that's here on their path doing their work. So if, it's like, so if we're doing our work and then we have just gratitude for the other soul that's been our friend for a long time, that's where the real work is, like, oh, well, we're communicating through this, but we're not getting to, it's that agree to disagree, I guess, but still honor and love that friend. Unless it's completely, they're not working on themselves or they're at a certain place where you're like, oh, this just maybe is time, that our friendship is come to an end. It's good, and but still be in that neutral place and wish them, the best on their journey as an infinite soul here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last few years, we saw a lot of kind of shocking um, revelations about our friends and relatives.
Sure did.
And it's like, whoa, wow, okay. We saw a lot of powerful people kind of go into that as well. People that we had a lot of high expectations of.
Of being
So yeah, it's
cool and
interesting.
staying neutral with
Yeah.
stuff, right? It's like, "Whoa, whoa, okay, yeah, no, I experienced that a couple of times because I stayed neutral, like, might have my opinions on everything that's, and I might I have my definitely my beliefs or well, I try not to go into belief, but it doesn't matter. Like, I don't need to express that to somebody, and I don't need to debate that. I just know what rings true for me, what feels good, but I don't need to be in opposition with anybody. But we definitely saw that in the last 4 years. But
Yeah, and for me, I understood mentally
mm,
about being neutral, but I really was obsessed with the whole thing, really.
yep,
So it kind of took over my life, and I
yeah,
didn't really want it to. I understand, I like mentally understood where the gift was of being in neutrality.
mm,
And now looking back, I see even more how important, it really was and how I got pulled out of my center.
mhm,
But, that's part of understanding this reality too, what we're living in. Like
that's right.
how that, we are kind of pulled into one camp or another.
Mhm,
And really that it keeps it going. The division that keeps it going to
that's
be
right.
pulled, and it can be overwhelming because we have so much information coming at us,
That's yep.
and it's like, yeah, it really is like I've had to, really step back and look at that and look where I made mistakes, that are really hard to come back from also.
But they're not,
you
because if
know
when you recognize that, all you could you that's the beauty right there. That's the learning, that's the expanding, is that you see that and there is coming, you can apologize. And if the other person is or, if they're in that state that you are in that constant growing, learning, recognizing self lessons, that's like that's our perfect world, right? When they're like, "Oh, yeah, I see that you were growing and I needed to grow too," and, and now it's behind us. So, that's the goal, that's the key, but like you were saying, we were getting so this is so important, this is what we were talking about earlier. My guides, they just keep really trying to hound it into me that we are in a multi-dimensional place, and there's lower frequency timelines, there's higher, there's all and we have a choice from so many, um, but I want to choose I call it, they call it the original timeline frequency of where like I will go back to the Lemurian lifetime. I consider that being the original before it fell and all of that. But it's this place where there's not such the dual that's going on right now. Um, and those are all in different timelines, different like and we have to be so conscious not to get pulled into that reality. That's why it's so like it takes a lot of work to stay focused on the vibrational timeline space that we want to be on. And we can
ah,
witness these going on. We can witness the duel, the world, the war, the hate, the violence. We can see it, but what the key strength is to not get pulled into that and get cycled around. It's to hold the space in the original timeline. Like, oh, that's in that timeline. I don't want to participate in that. I'm going to focus on the good in the higher timeline, original frequency. So
Right, because
really
going
important.
into those, yeah, going into those frequencies, again, it is frequency and it will pull
Mhm.
our vibration down,
Yeah,
which then allows an opening for more of the lower entities
those two. Yeah.
and beings to come around. It'll just draw those things to us. And
Mm.
this is, where the work I do, I really is like it seeks to raise the vibration in the body and in the space so you can have that opportunity, to experience those timelines.
Mhm.
But if you have all these things around you that are pulling your energy down,
Yeah,
it is really hard to stay in that
it is.
Lemurian timeline or the original timelines.
Mhm. Well, and it's hard because we're born since we can witness the destruction that's been going on, and then we can get pulled in there, and then that does lower our frequency, and that does allow the lower entities, which that's in the unseen as well, like reading energy. So there are, in those lower frequencies, there are entities that like to um manipulate us and make us do things that our higher self would never do, or react to something through anger, or or any of those lower vibrational emotions. So
Yeah.
it's really important to be aware of those. And we're powerful beings. So we're like, so not to like put that like, oh, you have entities. And so it's not fearful at all. Don't be fearful of that, because we are so much more powerful than any of those lower vibrations. So that's where that conscious awareness of your inner power comes in as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we may unconsciously agree to allow them into our space. See, this is where
Mhm.
I think it gets confusing. We don't understand that maybe we have allowed certain entities to assist us
Right.
because maybe we were children, or some of us don't have the awareness of the entities, or they're aware but they don't realize that they can say no, no thank you, or I recognize who you are, what you are. There's no understanding of that, so we
Right.
can allow things in, you know and not know that we can actually change and set a boundary with these entities
And
as
that's
well.
And again, that's frequency. So just having that awareness and telling it to like, yeah, no, that's not happening anymore. You're raising your frequency out of even that entity to even get near you, because you've just raised your
Yeah.
frequency where that doesn't exist now. That's that's the key of knowing that, like, so you don't have to stay like, because that's what I was told too. We don't have to put protection around us, which I do because I like the visual. So I'm like golden bubble, all of that. But I also just keep my frequency at a higher frequency, because you don't want to stay in the same frequency and constantly be putting up the protection, because that can get exhausting as well. So it's
Yeah. Right.
to raise your
Mhm.
frequency out of where those entities were, able to even get at you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And that's
I
like,
think midlife, bring
yeah,
it all into midlife is like kind of this point where it's like, okay, are we going to continue on
yeah,
with the patterns we've had up to this point? Are we going to
that's right.
continue on?
Yep,
Because this is getting into this precious time of like, okay, well, this is the last half of my life.
yeah,
Am I going to continue on with these relationship patterns, or, you know,
mhm,
the dynamics between friendships and, soul contracts,
mhm,
or am I going to change it?
yeah,
So it's like
that's
really,
exactly.
Yeah,
That's
recognize it.
what this menopause midlife, yeah, that you're talking about. It is
Yeah,
like under a microscope. Like all the, it's like these, for me, it's these, I always got really emotional with with every, my moon cycle. So that was my thing. I never got like any other kind of cramps or, I would just get really hungry for salty, sweet, and then I would be emotional. And that's what this feels like, this menopause. But it was also a gift, is what my guides told me. It's those moons that I was having and the emotional stuff coming up. It needed, like you said earlier, it needs to get purged out, um, because it needs to be looked at. So these are energies that don't serve us anymore. And so when something is making you angry, like I'll have these anger, kind of upsets that come up, or crying, like where's that stemming from? Because the menopause is actually putting a magnifying glass on it to purge it out. So to view it like,
yeah,
it's like, yeah.
yeah.
And it could be with the contracts, like with our ancestors,
Hmm.
as well, all of that. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've had to do a lot of work with the ancestors, with the ones I have some amazing ones I work with that are of the elevated, higher vibration. And then I have the ones that are really injured. And I feel like uh, there's a lot of matriarchal injury
Mhm.
to our ancestral line, that just needs to be addressed um, in some way, shape, or form, because I think that's what keeps us perpetuating these kind of victimy in relationships, at least with a partner. These things come out that are like, whoa, why am I acting like that? And it's just like,
Yeah.
it's like maturity. It's like, how are you going to maturation? you know
Yeah.
are you going to keep having the same fits about and starts about things? Are you going to like go, okay, wait a minute, and then, okay, who's who have I allowed in, not does not take responsibility for your own behavior, but there was a time where I could really see it, and I was like, oh my god, I've got this like gang of women that are just ready when I'm in a
Persecute the male.
situation. Yeah, with a man, they're
Oh,
just like, "Let's get him, like, get out of
get him.
here." And I recognized it in this one dramatic moment, and I was like, oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
That's why that fuels my fire, definitely. So, and then it's like, whoa, I really can see. Yeah. And I've had to do several rounds of like, okay, no, I got this. No, really. And and you seem kind of crazy because you're
But
like talking out, okay, that's it.
yeah.
Stand down. I got this. You guys can relax. Don't have to be like rude about it to them, but you could be like, hey, I don't really, I'm gonna handle this my way.
Yeah.
I know you have the best intentions for me,
Oh, yeah.
but
Well, and I know
yeah,
we all have that as women because, I think the
yeah,
majority of us do go through some kind of menopause symptoms. And
yeah,
so if we can see it as being a gift, we're really going through, it's really special actually being a woman here in this time, in this like great awakening that we're going through, this huge conscious shift, and then to be able to experience it maybe on a deeper level, um, through this transformation that we're going through from um, I always forget the three to Crone. I'm just going straight to Crone. That's the, you're young and then you go through, we're in the middle stage, we're not quite Crohn's yet.
yeah.
We're
We're kind
the
of on the
maiden.
baby stage of
We're
the.
the maiden. What is it?
Well, it's maiden, mother, crone,
That's right.
but
Maiden,
not all
mother,
of us
crone. We're
are
in the mother stage. We're out of the maiden. We're mother stage, and we're moving into the crone. I love it.
crone. I mean, you're kind of early, early crone is what you really are.
Okay. Yeah.
You're still a mother. Of course, I am not a mother. I so my friends call me a queenager
Okay. The
because
queen.
I never had children.
I love it. Oh my gosh. But you have mother, I mean, I feel like all women, even if you haven't birthed children, like you have a mother
Yes.
instinct. You just
Oh
do.
yeah.
Knowing
Yes.
you,
Yes.
you have
Oh
a
yeah.
cat. So
I have
you're,
a cat, and you know, I love children, and
I
definitely
know
like
you do. Yeah, for sure.
had
So
many years with children.
yeah,
So
in there. So, but yeah, so it's these amazing stages that we go through and we're able to go deeper into those emotions when we have our moon and we're going through menopause. So that's kind of what I like every time I feel an emotion come up, I'm like, okay, where's this stemming from? How can I learn from this? What is it trying to tell me? Because these are all
yeah,
messages on such a
they're all messages.
amazing level too, because it's within our own
Yeah.
body and our own energy. So what's the message
Yeah.
really is to clear those traumas from ancestors, from, from this life, from other places, and to bring it all into this right here and be whole, like you said, our energy into
Yeah.
this wholeness.
Whole and centered.
Yeah. And I really believe menopause is helping with that, going through these emotions. I've gone
Yeah. I
healed a
feel
lot.
like it totally is. I
Yeah.
totally feel yeah. And I don't, part of me looks for solutions like, okay, I'm doing a little homeopathy for my hot flashes because they come and go in these random ways. I can't quite see what I'm doing that creates them or
Yeah.
so I'm trying different remedies,
Okay,
but
cool.
at the same time, I don't go like I'm not going to go for hormones. I'm not going to go. I know some women have to do that. They have to do whatever to, but I just don't feel, I feel like I need to just go through it.
Yeah.
And I do have the luxury of the time and space since I
Mm,
have my own
yeah.
business, that I create my own time that I can like, you know, get down with looking at it and reflecting and,
Yeah.
because I really do feel like it's powerful
It's so
and we are
powerful. And
we're moving into this
yeah,
stage of the crone. I mean, this is like
yeah,
the wise crone was always the symbol of, the cosmic mother,
yeah.
like, it's a very powerful symbol
Well, it's a
in
rite of
many,
passage. And so I think we were taught to look at it as being this bad thing and, oh, you got to get hormone replacements because now you're out of balance. Your hormones are all over. But
yeah,
we were taught wrong. So now I just feel like it is a rite of passage if we can just view it. And maybe will help some of you out there, you women that are watching this, like view it differently. It's a gift. It's
yeah.
beautiful.
It's like really
Yeah,
and really get down with understanding yourself. Like,
that's right.
who am I?
Yeah.
This is where, like some of the things we do come in, like the
Hmm.
astrology. It's like really understand yourself and like how you use your astrology
Yeah.
every day.
Yes.
How you respond to things is according to this cosmic blueprint,
Mm,
and then really getting down with that. It's not just something you get a reading for. It's like you start applying it to your
yeah,
everyday,
that's
you
right.
know, and then relating that to the energies we're in. What time of year, what season, now we're going into Capricorn season
Yeah.
and we're getting out of Sag season. Sag is like the quest for truth and it's like these ideas and the friction of, kind of the possibilities.
Yeah.
And then now we're going into Capricorn, which is like, okay, well, the practical wisdom.
Oh,
What
right.
how do we
Responsible.
put some of these, but it's actually very Capricorn's also very wise, like the council of wise grandmothers. This is Capricorn. So there's a lot of mysticism and
Yeah.
it gets kind of a stereotype of being, the lawmaker and this and that, but really it is this practical wisdom. That's kind of like how I like to look at it.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Yeah, because it plays a very key role
Mm,
in our evolution, and we follow this, the chart as we move through the seasons. It really, like, we can utilize all of this. Like, okay, now I'm going to put some of those visions into more action and figure out the practical ways I can manifest these great visions of Sag, of the quest for
okay.
truth.
Yeah.
And, like, I actually am coming out of this deep quest for what we're living in, and I've been going down these rabbit holes of, like, other histories and old ancient books, and now I'm at, well, none of this matters actually.
That's
And
hilarious.
that's been, like, the results of all this
Yeah.
questing for truth. That is like, oh no, it really is about, your inner reality and how you
Yeah.
show up every
That's
it's not about
I
all that other stuff.
literally I just had a
Which is so
conversation
funny.
with a friend, yeah, like the other day. I was like, none of it matters. It doesn't matter about
Yeah,
our bloodline, our lineage. I mean, it's entertaining. It's entertaining to see, but does it help for like, I mean, I guess maybe it can help for right now to get into that inner space, but we're just these infinite souls. Like all the like
yeah,
it's all entertainment to go into all the history, which is fascinating. I love all the like ancient history. We're going back to Lemurians or the Tartarians, all of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some of the original understandings around Lemuria was there's a center, because old maps tell a lot of history too.
Yeah.
And you can see there's these old maps, and it has this center of this realm, and there's a mountain there called Mount Meru, and
Oh,
it's like this magnetic center, and it's divided up into the four waters, the four directions.
oh
And
wow.
so, and it also kind of represents the cosmic mother.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this really interesting place that some of these things come from, the Lemuria, the Meru. There's, like,
Oh,
it's
cool.
really, it's interesting, and it's fun to
Yeah.
look at and just take your mind out of our standardized history that we've been given, because that really just seeks to make us feel small and unimportant.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see that there's actually all these things that happened, but we literally, um I even think about those people writing the ancient books. They were on their own quest,
Yeah.
and of course this reality gives you what you're looking for. So I mean, it's like,
Well, that's my
it starts
point.
to kind of
It's
like,
like, is any like we can't really trust
that's
anything. We
your
can just
reality, and
go,
you wrote a book about it. I know. So all of it doesn't matter. Like, is the world flat? Is it round? It
doesn't
doesn't matter. None
doesn't
of it
matter.
matters.
It's none of it matters. It's all I know. It's all what our perspective is that we're drawing to, because it's like the creation is in our thoughts. That's what we said earlier. The
Yeah. That's
creation is
our
in
thoughts
our
are creating
thoughts,
our
and that's
reality
what
every
shows up.
moment.
Period.
Yeah.
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 I've seen it. Like it's happening more and more. Like I swear manifested something out of thin air the other day. I thought it like I was like, "Oh, I need this." And then all of a sudden it was like in my hand, but I think it might have like cuz I was looking for it and it must have like fallen into my hand in my I was like, "Oh my god." I think I just like, like that instant materialization. At least
Yeah.
I was loving to think that, cuz I know that
Oh,
we will have the power to do that. I'm seeing it more and more just in my personal space of like, "Oh, I need this," and then I'll look for something else, and then there's the thing that I was looking for, and it's happening faster and faster. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that a lot with people. If I have a thought about somebody, and then they're there. It's like, whoa,
Yeah,
okay.
like that. So
So
that's
yeah,
how
it's like faster than in
yeah,
like, in the technology.
that
If I were to call them, I'm actually like they're all right.
we
So
are the technology. So that my guides have told me that for a long, long time. Like,
well, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
this is high tech right here.
high tech.
This whole
That's right.
like channel, the body, all the energy
Yeah,
centers.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
and we got to utilize this tech. Really, it
That's
has a
well,
lot
we're
of
having
benefits.
to yeah, utilize well and tap into we have to lift the veil of amnesia for the powers that we have. And I feel like that's what a lot of us are doing. So we're lifting this like I don't know, there was some kind of weird, amnesia, but we're all tapping into now knowing that we are powerful. And
Yeah, I mean, this gets into the mainstream understanding of the body and health,
mm,
right?
yeah,
And it's like it's very flat. It's
yeah.
like really doesn't tell even a inkling of how things are working in the body. I mean, I do a lot of work on people's bodies through the biogeometry, and I am getting really this amazing understanding of the nerves and how the nerves hold all this energy.
Right. Yeah.
And so be like an injury site,
Yeah.
and
You you gotta
the
do mine.
injury site is healed, but it's the nerves. The nerves are
Yeah.
holding that energy. So then once you clear the nerves, then you have the full clearing of the
Yeah.
whatever it was.
I love
Yeah.
it.
So it's really interesting.
It's like the
It's like I
nerves
almost
are the Akashic records almost within the body, right?
exactly. That's what I
So
was
the
thinking.
nerves
I
are
was
the
just like,
memory.
these are the Akash,
That's what I
you
think I
know?
remember you saying that, like, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Whoa." They are because the nerve that because and but we have through our thought, we can work with our nerves, right? Our nervous system because those are those repeat patterns that don't serve us that
Yeah.
we those contracts or anything that, say we have a contract with our health, but we want that to change. We have to talk to the Akash within the body, the nervous system to
Yeah.
create something different, health, the yeah, the
Yeah.
homeostasis. That's why I always tell my body, you're in your you know what to do to be healthy, to be in your homeostate of being, homeostasis state of
Yeah.
being. Yeah. And
Yeah.
next I'll be working on this, I sliced this my middle finger here that where I was going to wear this ring. But I damaged the nerve. I mean, like on a can, like, oh God, on the lid and
Yeah.
just sliced it. Both fingers, but this
Yeah.
one's okay. I can feel that, but then I can't, this was 2 weeks ago. So it's still numb. I'm doing all the good, there's a lot of herbs you can do to help repair nerve, and all of that, and then
Yeah.
heal it up. But what was the message? That's kind of what I have to sit down.
Why did that happen? I know. Well,
I
never
always
know.
think like,
It's like,
okay, what were you trying to tell me? Yeah, I always see things as messages.
yeah,
I did that. I
I know
created
because we
my heart.
live in a very synchronistic place. Everything has a reason, has a
It does.
message,
It
has a
does.
reason. Yeah.
I can't wait
So
till what you say because you're going to go in and read it, right? You're going to go in and read my finger.
yeah, I'm gonna go into your middle finger with the biogeometry ruler and see
It's funny that's
what
the
what
middle
nerve
finger.
is. I know. Well, it's the power finger.
That's the
It's
power
the
finger.
power finger.
It is the power
Yeah.
finger. Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and this is part of midlife too. There's a loss of power in some ways.
Okay.
Power is regained, but in doing new things and making changes, there's a loss of power as well. So, like I have recognized I'm losing the power of my youth,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
the power I had
Yeah.
as a younger, yeah.
That's
And
interesting.
that was a power.
Yeah.
It definitely was a power. And you're going to gain new superpowers, so you have to let go of some of the old superpowers.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true, and it's like, it
There's an
is
exchange.
it's an exchange, yeah. Well, I'd rather have the getting than the youthful ones because I think that was out of balance, you know,
Yeah, right.
the
Yeah, I
youthful,
definitely was
the
in
young
that.
woman, yeah, so,
Yeah.
um, but like, I'm loving getting older, I think.
I am now, but at first it was challenging.
Yeah.
First I was like, what's the plan?
It's a plan, totally. Oh, God, I love it.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
now I'm like, okay, yeah, I see it. And I ordered Sharon Blackie's book, The Haggitude. So
Oh,
I'm gonna talk
awesome.
about it. I'm
Okay.
excited. Yeah. Because she brings in a lot of folklore
Oh,
and
cool.
stories, the crone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And
yeah,
she
great
really
name,
connects.
Hackneyed.
Yeah, Haggitude. Her
What's her name? Cheryl Black.
name is Sharon Blackie.
Okay, Sharon Blackie. Okay, so Sharon Blackie,
Wrote
your book Haggitude, and she does on the folklore. So if anybody wants to go check that out, because
well,
I
and the
think I know
power
that a
of
little bit.
getting older, like the power of the
Yeah.
crone,
Okay.
and really it's bringing it back from an old
Yeah.
perspective,
That's kinda what I
actually.
wanna do with you. That's what I'm feeling because 'cause I'm feeling that power come in. So I'm like, "We gotta get on
Yeah,
and talk menopause," but stuff that the other women aren't talking about, this, like, unseen power that's happening, this transformation that's, like,
power.
like, just viewing it differently, that rite of passage into something just amazing. And we chose to do
Yeah,
it, in this time, in this, like, conscious shift that's happening. It's like,
yeah.
whoo, yeah, that's, like,
Yeah,
amazing.
and it was cool to see my friend do this that had the shift when an energy came in and she recognized it. She's like, "I'm in my 70s. I can't believe, I'm still changing." And like, it's like, yeah, this is it, you know? It's like we don't have to stop
No,
evolving.
and that's where because I tap into the collective consciousness that's been kind of programmed for us, and so we have
Mhm.
to detach from that collective consciousness that isn't serving us anymore, so that's another we have conscious
Other
awareness,
social contract.
another social contract that we have to be aware of, like, I
Yeah.
refuse because I'll have these thoughts come in, I'm like, "No, those I'm not participating in that collective consciousness where when you get to be a certain age, this starts happening, that starts happening, your eyesight
I'm
starts going. This is pissing me off with the eyesight crap. So I'm like determined to,
gonna work on your eyes too.
okay, good. Cause I'm like, I refuse. So that's been difficult for me to heal the eyesight. It feels like it's even getting worse the more I focus on it. But so I'm trying to detach from there's a collective consciousness around eyesight even, so it's like, no, that doesn't have to happen. Our bodies know what to
Yeah.
do to repair themselves at all ages. I mean, if we're taking care of our bodies, eating healthy, which I think I eat pretty good. So, and take lots of
Yeah,
herbs.
when I start to have eye issues, because I started in the beginning, I started having actually it's when I did the biogeometry on my house.
Oh,
I then I centered my house and then I was getting a reflection back. And I had been on the computer a lot for the course I was
yeah.
taking, and I started to get styes. Like all
Oh,
of a sudden I'm getting styes from having dry eye, and then
okay.
I realized it's hormones.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, I need more estrogen. So I just started eating more soy because I don't eat soy really. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Okay.
okay, I got some good like soybeans,
Yeah.
organic soybeans, and started eating more of it. Not a lot,
Yeah. Just
doesn't
a
take
little bit.
much.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like a natural way
It's
is
funny
to
because
get
I
estrogen.
was drawn to getting soy milk the other day because every now and then I'm drawn to get like
Mhm.
at the health food store, there's like a really good organic brand. And so I was like, and I've gotten it in the past, but then the voice comes in, oh, soy, can't get soy because it's. But that's a thank you, because that now tells me that my intuition was telling me you need some more estrogen,
Yeah.
I think is what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I,
Yeah.
of course, a
And
lot of times ignore that, like that it's like very subtle. So don't ignore that subtle intuition.
well,
Because
and the soy thing is something that is also part of, in this the health spaces where they just start to demonize one thing and then,
that's right.
and a lot of it's because it was GMO'd. And so a lot of the soy wasn't good. So
Yeah,
people, because it was all infused with all this other stuff.
that's right.
But you look at cultures like Japan and places like that where it's tofu and they do all that, and it's just like
Well,
soy is fine.
it's always
And
fine.
it's been in,
In a little bit, like,
so
yeah, like that little bit of
yeah,
amount.
you don't
Yeah.
need a lot, and the less processed, the better. That's my view. Like tempeh over tofu,
Yeah.
soybeans over soy
Yeah.
milk. Because in soy milks, they add things. They gotta add canola oil
Yeah,
to
no,
your
it's
fucking soy milk.
terrible. I know.
So,
Like, why? Yeah. Well, so that's a good point. So, because I have a nut, I haven't used it in a little while, but I have a nut milk maker, so I can make soy milk. If I get
almond cow,
what's that? No,
almond cow.
yes, my almond cow. Yes, I've made almond milk, cashew milk. Yeah, no, I've made lots of milk with it. It's been a little bit, but I think I'll try
Yeah,
soy. Yeah, I'll get
good
some
idea.
fresh
Yeah.
soybeans and then make that soy milk. But yeah,
Nice.
I love it. I love this nut. Because yeah, I don't need all the other crap in it. And
Well,
even
that's the
a
thing is
good,
they put these canola oils in the
no,
freaking milks,
no,
you know? It's just
it's
like, why do you have to have
whatever
oil
else,
in there?
bar gum to keep it, I don't,
I
all
know
this. It's
when I
like
drank almond milk, I made my own and it was really I didn't need a cow, but I just soaked it, blended it.
almond cow.
I had the almond cow for a minute. My friend gave it to me and I was like, it's just too big. I don't and then
Is that
I
what
don't
the
do as
thing is
much
called? Almond cow? That's what
nut
the,
milks.
okay.
Yeah, it's this big thing. Have you seen it?
Well, yeah, I don't think mine's called an almond cow, but that's, yeah, it's similar. Mine's big. It's
Yeah.
like, I
It's
like
like I
having,
don't need another
no.
yeah.
That's so funny. I know I have a lot of kitchen stuff. I like to do stuff in the kitchen though. I like to cook. I like to make
Yeah,
my own, like I've done stuff by scratch for a long time. It's
that's awesome.
love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's
oh, amazing. So that's, yeah, great combo, Caitlin. I always love getting on.
yes.
Just we go back and forth and just information,
Yeah.
from our guides, our higher selves are communicating with each other, and we're, yeah, it's just, it's
Yeah.
some good stuff coming through. So yeah, so we talked about yeah, the going through this amazing midlife you know menopause and
Transformation.
transformation. Yes. The grand
The great transformation.
I love it. And then contracts. That's so important
The
to be
contracts.
aware of those contracts. How's it making you feel with certain people? Is it lineage? Is it for your own higher self? Like what is, like, really be conscious of what's happening in your life. And does it feel good?
Yeah.
And to
Yeah.
cut those cords, burn up those contracts, create something new. Like, yeah, do something that's out of the regular routine as well, to create what you want in your life, new, like newness. Like I finally went
Yeah.
on a hike yesterday with my
Break
son.
your patterns.
Thank you.
Break your
That's
patterns.
the word. Break your
That's
patterns.
I know. I was
Pick
just
a new,
watching you.
I got the word.
In menopause mode. We can't think of words in menopause. It's like
So annoying. I'm like, really?
it's so annoying. The
Hey,
thing.
I'm smart.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I really am. What's that word?
Don't get emotional now. Just calm down.
Calm down, okay?
Okay.
Don't tell me to calm down.
Yes, yes, this reality, because it's all reflective of our thoughts, we want to break our patterns to
Yeah,
create new reality tunnels.
that's
And
it.
you do this, you have different thoughts, you have different visions, you want to manifest something, you want to create a new dynamic, it's all about breaking your patterns as well
Yeah.
to help kind of whatever this energy is. Some call it an AI, energy that brings us what we're thinking about, right? The
Yeah.
reflectiveness of the reality.
Yeah.
So if we can get down with like what we're really thinking and change those thoughts to these um higher vibrational outcomes, then break our patterns around it. We're such creatures of habits. Like, no, I want to get up and do this every morning and this and that. But really, if you can create if you just break, don't even like think about it, just like do something different. And
Yeah.
you'll see like the reality has to like, kind of figure it out, and then it'll start bringing you those things.
Yeah.
But if we stay in the same pattern, reality brings you that same, you're going to see exactly what you're looking for and thinking about. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's a really big part of understanding this realm, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah, it's
It's
good
how we
stuff.
create.
It's yeah,
Yeah,
it's good stuff. Yeah. When you figure it out.
yeah,
But
once you figure it out.
once we figure it out, because I don't have it totally figured out, but
Yeah,
but I do like the
that's
break.
a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the pattern break.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we want to do the same things. It's like there's a comfort in it,
Well, there
yet that
that's it.
comfort, and also this gets into why you want to be in neutral, because when you're in one side or another,
That's right.
politically or whatever, it's easier for this reality to deal with you because you're already in a camp. So it gives you like whatever that is. So when you're neutral, you're kind of rogue in
Yeah.
this reality,
Yeah, I
and
love
it
it.
doesn't know what to
Yeah.
do, you know?
I love that.
So it's really
So that's yeah, it's important to get to that. I love that. Yeah,
into that. No.
it's you explain that really well because that's yeah, I just know how important it is to stay neutral. So and I've worked on that for
Yeah.
many
But I
years.
was like, why? I've been asking myself,
Why?
why, why,
Yeah.
why? Because I wasn't raised like that. I wasn't, you
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
I want to be the good person, of
Yeah.
course,
Of
be on
course.
the right team, you
Team.
know,
Don't want to disappoint anybody.
bad person.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Oh man. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully that was helpful. I guess we'll wrap it up and I was going to say something and it escaped me. I was like, yeah, yeah, dang it. It went away. Um so anyways, go create your reality. Yes, your thoughts are powerful. Stay in that neutral place. And if you want to get a hold of Caitlin, where can they get a hold of you to get an amazing biogeometry reading or your amulet reading,
Session.
astrology? Get a session with Caitlin. She's so amazing. So where can they find you?
CaitlinRossOdom.com, and it'll be linked in the description
Yeah, yes.
as
And
well
please
as
like,
today.
share. Thank you for making it to the end. If you made it to the end, and that's
Yeah.
I really like because I'm gonna be resistant. Because I know it's like it's fast paced. People want to see like those short clips and get all the information in 3 minutes. But I'm more of like your old fashioned, like, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's move through this in a normal pace. Let's bring I don't know. I'm gonna be a rebel and not do the fast pace and anyway, so if you made it to the end, please like, share, and subscribe to both of our channels. And I will put everything in the description below. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Happy winter solstice.
Yes, that's tomorrow. Another power
Yeah.
day.
Always
Okay.
the power day.